It's time for SideScrollers on ScrewAttack.com with your hosts, Stuttering Craig.
Excuse me. Your balls are showing.
And Handsome Tom.
Let's do it.
Also with Jocelyn the Intern.
Swing! Swing!
And Producer Andy.
Don't be jealous that I've been chatting online with babes all day.
And now broadcasting from the world's Screw Attack headquarters in Dallas, Texas, it's the SideScrollers.
Welcome on out to SideScrollers on ScrewAttack.com. What is going on? I am Stuttering Craig.
And Handsome Tom.
Coming to you live, well, kind of, I guess as live as you can be from a podcast, I guess, from E3 2006. We are coming to you from the comfy confines of the beautiful hotel room that we have been supplied by management. Very nice, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, we'll have to thank producer Andy for the hospitality.
Indeed, he got us a beautiful hookup out here in LA. So, tons of good stuff. We're going commercial free this week, or promo free, or whatever you want to call, because we have just got so much crap to talk about. It's unfunny.
It's uncanny.
It's ridiculous. It's retarded, really. All right, so first things first. I'm a stud. That's all I'm going to say. I'm a stud. I snuck past the security guards. This whole E3 thing. When you walk in, you're immediately branded in some way, shape, or form. You're branded with a media badge, an exhibitor badge, early access media badge, or just a straight up. There's a super pass. Have you seen the super pass?
Yeah, I saw that, Craig. So did you flirt with the lady to get in, or what'd you do?
All right, so let's set this up. We've been here for a few days now. This is our third day here in Los Angeles and checking out the whole scene and giving you guys what you guys need and want. And we've actually kind of got in good with a couple security guards around here. At least they know our faces, which is good. And I had been kind of chit-chatting with one, and you've actually seen her in a couple of videos. So we've had one of the montages we did. It was really nice.
We're not trying to get anybody fired, by the way.
No, not at all. Anyway, so they had early access media hours this morning from 9 to 11 a.m. And we were just kind of scoping around. And the same lady who was in the videos, she was doing security for the big hall where Nintendo and Microsoft and all the big companies were. And I guess she was distracted, and I just kind of walked on by. So
in your secret, undercover op, what'd you get to do?
Well, I got in around 8:15 in the morning, all right? So that's 45 minutes before anybody else is. So I'm feeling really sly and cunning, so I just start walking around, and I have all my ScrewAttack.com stuff on. We got the shirt, we got the bag, we got the whole thing, and I kind of stick out like a sore thumb. And the biggest thing is my badge does not say exhibitor, which is pretty much the only people who are supposed to be in there that time. So I flip around my badge, and I flip up the little exhibitor thing, flip it around so nobody can see me. And I'm walking around, and I want to scope the place out so I can get a good run of the place when doors open to the regular media. And immediately, once you know it, a security guard stops me. And he's like, hey, guess what? You can't be here. So I go to the restroom, and I hide. And I actually attempt to call you, but my cell phone's down. So anyway, I literally hang out in the bathroom for 30 minutes until about 8:45. Then I kind of make my way over to the Nintendo booth. Because everybody knows that's what everybody wants to see this week. So I head over to the Nintendo booth and actually hop in line to see the Wii. So I'm actually the 16th person in line to see the Nintendo Wii. The big thing at E3. It was absolutely crazy.
So what was the coolest thing about being in the Wii booth?
All right, so I get to go in the Wii booth. And I actually, I brought my video and everything. You can actually see that stuff online right now. We got video from Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess. We got video from Metroid Prime 3. We have video from Super Mario Galaxy. All the big demos they had out, we had video from. So it was really cool. My personal favorite was Zelda, by far. It was absolutely incredible the way the Wii controller handles, and that's been the big thing coming out with the whole everything that they've talked about with the Wii and the controls came true. There were a few touchy things that I had issues with, but it's still early and it's still in the development stages.
Now, was it as clumsy as the ripoff that Sony has?
Speaking of, all right, so Sony came out with their press conference a couple days ago, and they showed their new controller, and wouldn't you know it, it works just like the Revolution.
Bastards.
I guess easy enough, right? So literally, you move it around, and that was the whole thing with Sony's
I got something to add to that.
Okay.
All these people keep ripping things off. Logos from other video games, controllers. Maybe even sound bites.
Why would you ever do that?
I don't know.
Man, what? Yeah.
Talk about us.
I know. All right. So, anyways, Microsoft came out with their controller, and it's kind of stunned a lot of people because they're like, "Wow, it looks exactly like the PlayStation 2 controller, exactly like the PlayStation 1 controller. Pretty much the only difference is that you can move it around just like you would the Revolution controller." And a lot of people see that as kind of retarded.
Yeah, the only thing that's retarded is that they completely redesigned what they had as soon as they saw that they were going to get abused by Nintendo. So.
You know what? One of the funniest things I saw about, and you mentioned this too, is that there were no PlayStation 3s on the floor at all.
No, they were all just computers running the software. And if you look on the net, you could find that there were rumors that they said that during the press conference it was actually being run by a PlayStation 3, and they made a mistake and couldn't turn it up because it was actually an emulator.
So during their press conference, their big heyday, the big time to shine, they're running off not even their product.
Yeah, who knows what Sony's got. But, they might be able to pull something out of their butt and kick some ass. I can't, we'll just have to wait and see.
My question to you is it possible to pull something out of your butt and then kick ass?
Only PlayStation will let us know.
Indeed. All right, so moving on to the last of the big three. Kind of put in the back burner has been Microsoft, because the 360's been out for a long time, and they haven't really had that big blockbuster announcement so far. I mean, they've had a couple of big things, but they're just kind of stuck back in the corner, and that's kind of how they've been perceived the entire show. Yeah,
they got the exact same setup as last year, but nothing. I mean, you got, of course, some demos of new games, but nothing that blows your mind. Mortal Kombat was probably the coolest thing, and that's more. That's more props towards Midway than it is towards Microsoft.
Speaking of Mortal Kombat, you got a full gameplay video on our website right now of that. So, but back to Nintendo though. Nintendo by far was the coolest thing, because that's what people want to hear about. So that's what we're going to talk about. Over 50% of the people on our website wanted to hear about it. So, and since I'm the only one who actually had the hands-on experience today, I might as well talk about it.
Don't forget about that sweet light gun controller.
Yeah, exactly.
The zapper.
All right, so when you walk in immediately, there's lights going everywhere. It's absolutely just absurd, sensory overload. And the first thing you immediately see are 4 screens, which you'll be able to see on the website tomorrow when we upload this. 4 screens of people actually playing with a controller, and it's absolutely ridiculously over-exaggerated movement, but you get the idea. You walk around, and there's some promotional models playing the games, showing you how to play and just doing the over-exaggerated thing you see in the promo videos. But then you actually get to check out the software. And the one thing that shocked me about the Revolution after seeing it in person was how small the equipment is. It's absolutely tiny. In addition to the controller you see, where one's in your left and the other was in the right, the standard one everyone's seen. They also had a regular controller that looks very similar to a Super Nintendo controller. The only difference was there are 2 analog sticks down towards the bottom, kind of like your PSP.
Well, that, or it's like the Mad Catz edition of the classic controller for the PlayStation 2. It's got the analog sticks in the middle, and it's got the classic feel to it.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. In addition to that, the coolest thing I saw was the zapper. Like, it's the exact same thing as the old school NES one, except it's like a sleeker, more silver and white version of it. Yeah, you actually get to pop in that little, looks like a TV remote, jam it into the front of that controller, and it becomes your light gun. Very cool stuff. So how does this stuff work? They had probably 25 games on display, but a lot of people immediately flocked to the big ones. The Metroid Prime 3s, the Legend of Zelda, the Super Marios, even the WarioWares. You know, Craig, weren't you on like X-Play or one of those shows while you were in Nintendo booth too? Yeah, well, as we're getting ready to go in, they had us make a fool out of ourselves. And you might actually see the logo in me on I don't know, it was the girl who hosts Cheat. She was in there doing something about it. Now was she hot in person? She was hot in person, but I still don't buy her as a gamer. But whatever. She reads cue cards real well. Yeah, well, she's getting paid. She's hot too. Anyway, so we're going there, and we actually get a chance to play the games. First thing I played was WarioWare, and much like the WarioWare on the DS, there's touching is definitely encouraged, because that's the whole thing with the Revolution. There's different things where you slap it flies. You have to cut out a cookie where you physically have to slap your joystick down like you're cutting a cookie, then go underneath the dough, if you will, and flip it up, if that makes any sense in this audio medium we have right here. But the big thing I saw that really drew me was Metroid Prime. And Metroid Prime, we actually have the full demo up on the website right now from start to finish. It's in 4 different spots, but it's definitely a cool checkout if you want to see it. We took our time and got the entire thing for you, our G1s. I spent a lot of time looking at that, and there were a lot of cool features that came with using the hands-on approach and the way the controller was used. The one thing I had a hard time with the controller was the mix-up on the buttons on your right hand. I don't even know if it's the left-hand controller or right-hand controller. I don't even know what they're calling it.
No, do you think like it's going to be real smooth and easy once you get that feel down for it, though?
Yeah, I think there's going to be an adjustment time in between, but it is real smooth for the most part. It's real accurate. The only thing I had a problem with, other than my A and B buttons getting them mixed up just because I'm dyslexic, was physically having pointing your arrow off the screen and having to go down about 6 inches so the screen will read it. Other than that, it was pretty solid. I got to spend a lot of time on Legend of Zelda, and everything that they're saying about the game is true. It's absolutely cool. They gave you the opportunity to play 2 different levels, the dungeon, or you could fish, and you literally cast out the line and you reel it back in. It's the exact same thing as you would like in bass fishing in the arcade. Exact same type thing. The whole objective of catching the fish was catching the fish. There's no real objective to it, just showing you the different capabilities of the Wii now, not the Rev. But the cool features in the dungeon were they really tried to show off the Wii's limited power, and by that I mean the graphics were real crisp and real smooth. But obviously, when you're throwing something out there for people to play for the first time, you want to take advantages of its strengths, and that, of course, is the gameplay involved, and that, of course, is the controller. But so, Link is famous for his spin attack, and to do the actual spin attack, you actually have to spin your controller around to do that. So it's really cool in that effect. And if you actually pick up boxes or vases, you have to pull the controller back and then thrust it forward, just like you're making the throwing motion. Pretty good stuff. And we also had a chance to catch up on Super Mario Galaxy, which is really a pretty game. But I didn't get a chance to play that one, but I talked to a lot of people, and they said it handles very well. I touched it for 30 seconds, but it wasn't like I spent a lot of time on it. Not enough to really get a good gauge on it. But like I said, they also had golf on display where you physically putt. They had a baseball on display where you're trying to hit homers. They had a shooting gun gallery.
Didn't they have the download demonstration?
Yes, and that's one of the coolest things that I saw. The Virtual Console. That's one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to the Revolution, or the Wii. God, it's hard for me to get over that. The Wii is the Virtual Console, and we have video of that up on the web again. The way they had it set up was they had 5 different consoles, classic consoles, retro consoles, whatever you want to call them, that you could play games off of, 1 game from each. They had Super Mario from the NES, they had Super Mario World from the Super Nintendo, Mario 64 from the 64, they had Sonic the Hedgehog, and that was weird seeing that on a Nintendo system, the original Sonic, and the weirdest one of all, but the coolest one of all, was Bonk's Adventure for the TurboGrafx, which obviously was signed through the Hudson Soft deal. They came over, and so it was really cool to play those games. And they were talking about the controller that was being used, and you didn't use the traditional controller with the left and right hand with a lasso. That was the SNES controller they had hooked up. That was the knockoff of that.
All right, well, we touched on just about everything except for PC games.
Now, I don't know crap about PC. That's your thing.
Yeah, you did. We got to hang out with Fatality.
Oh, yeah.
There's our PC games for the week.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we actually had an interview with him, and that's going to be up on the website the next day or so. What were your impressions of that guy?
He's a
What? You're not even drinking, and you're going to make me bleep, dude.
Oh, yeah, I can't say that on the radio, huh? No, he seemed pretty cool. He got to pick his own levels and choose exactly how we got to play against him. But yeah, he abused everybody who came in contact with.
All right, so yeah, we had this interview, and for those of you who have no idea what TJ and Handsome Tom is talking about, after the interview, they had what they called a shootout, where it was he would take people from the audience and physically play against them. And Handsome Tom is a bitter man right now. He definitely is not the happiest campers because he got throttled.
You know what? I'm just everybody's got excuses, so I just lost.
You got your ass kicked, man. It was like 18 to -4. You got beat by over 20, and you actually lost points because you fell off the. Well, like, what do you have to say, man? Seriously, defend yourself. You suck. All right, so that was the highlight of my day by far, watching you get your can handed to you. After that, we scurried around. We had a few meetings and met a lot of good people. But one of the things that I was really kind of distraught about was the lack of people, if you know what I'm saying. The lack of the female people.
No. There were booth babes there. They were just, they wanted to stick with the code, so I guess they went with ugly chicks this year instead of good-looking girls. I don't know.
There weren't the best-looking girls. I mean, don't get me wrong. There were some hot chicks, hot girls, whatever you want to say, but they
just not a large enough variety for me.
You're looking from.
I'm looking for last year when every other booth had top-notch talent.
So you're looking from everything from Argentina to Zimbabwe. Is that what you're looking for?
Diversity is my middle name.
All right. Well, there wasn't much diversity. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, the booth babes this year give you, what, 7 so far?
Wait. From this year to last year?
Sure.
I give them a 4.
Wow.
Compared to last year.
So all you who have never been to E3, Handsome Tom had a high standard last year. I guess the chicks got older and, I don't know, whatever. So, but one of the cool things, one of the weird booth babes I saw was a chick dressed as Medusa. And that was really odd. Did you see that?
Yeah, she had a gigantic tail, and it was... No, the most awkward one was the casino one, where you could do the poker games, and they had these 2 girls dancing on pedestals. Really interesting, like. I don't even know what to... I don't even know how to describe it. They were just moving. You gotta. They were moving extremely slow. I don't know if they.
It's like humping the wall. What are they?
No. They're each on different pedestals. There's no pole or anything.
You made it sound like they're humping each other.
No. They're 2 separate pedestals, but they're just dancing slow and looking bored, and it was weird. It was just awkward.
The weirdest thing I saw, now that we're talking about weird, was the dude over at the Sega booth on stage who was doing the hula hoop. Now, this guy was an incredible hula hooper, but his shorts or his pants were incredibly low, and he had the long hair that made him look like a girl. So immediately when you're looking from far away, you think it's like some chick doing hula hoops. And on top of this guy doing the hula hoop, like this guy, it's not just like regular hula hoop. This is like Circus du Soleil hula hoop. This is absolutely retarded what this guy's doing with the hula hoop. But they have like guys fake shooting guns into the crowd, and dudes and women with flaming batons. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard and seen, and the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. I don't even know what game it was for, but it didn't take me 10 seconds to move away from it just because I was like, I have no idea what I'm watching right now.
They had some weird crap like that last year too. Who knows?
I guess that's what it's all about, though, drawing people in and trying to get them to pay attention to your game. No, so after day 1 impressions, what most impressed you?
You know what? I wasn't really impressed by much this year. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, and I'm just like, there are some things that have potential. Of course, there's a few games I'm looking forward to, but let's see. Of course, anything on the Wii, but I haven't played it yet, so I can't really judge that. I'll be there tomorrow. The PlayStation 3 was just average to me. It's like, hey, here's the exact same thing, but the controller moves slightly. I heard it wasn't really smooth. I'm looking forward to a couple first-person shooters. I mean, you got the Halo trailer, but you don't really have anything else like that at E3. Prey looks okay, and there's one other game, Quake Wars. Other than that, I was just kind of.
So, what are the big disappointments? If there's not a lot of happiness, what sucked most?
Well, it's not about what sucked most. It's just there's nothing groundbreaking or new. Nothing I haven't seen in a magazine in the last few months.
You know what I think sucked most? the lack of freebies we got.
Oh yeah, no, we haven't gotten it. You know what? The Quake Wars was the best one. Dog tags, but one of the dog tags was a big metallic memory card. It was kind of cool.
Well, my biggest winners for the day, obviously Nintendo, but I was pretty partial because I was one of the first ones in the door, so which I didn't have to wait in a 6-hour line like there was later on in the day. So you guys will get more Nintendo stuff up tomorrow, more PlayStation stuff up tomorrow. Today was a real Nintendo-intensive day as far as getting stuff up on the site. A lot of PlayStation stuff up tomorrow. We'll get that Fatality stuff up in the next couple days. And we'll, of course, cover some Microsoft stuff. But like we said, not a lot of stuff going on over there in the Xbox world. So that is day 1. A quick recap. 1 to 10, a strong 8 for me because, this is good experience.
Yeah, it's your first E3, so you're excited about everything.
I'm learning. I'm like a little girl. All right, so there you go. Pretty good day, number 1. We'll see you tomorrow, day number 2. This is Stutter and Craig.
And Handsome Tom.
Saying good night. See you tomorrow for E3, day number 2.